Okay, I am back in the barn again. Actually, air gun that I kind of have wanted to, and I've been showing all these fancy newer guns and this and that, but you know, I have an old favorite that I actually inherited. Gosh, that must have been 30 years ago. Which is a tight one, probably not meant for this case, but it is a vintage Crosman 600. And obviously I did not pay for this. I have put a little bit of time and money into it, doing some cleaning, fixing a spring or part here and there. When I got it, it was quite a bit dirtier. Actually, it was very dirty, a little bit of rust here and there. And I got this from my father-in-law in the 80s. Probably, gosh, I'm just going to throw a number out there, like 1984, 1985. He got it in the mid-60s, best I can remember what he told me. And when I did a little bit of research on this gun, Crosman 600, it's a CO2 semi-automatic. Pyramid Air had a nice write-up by Tom Gaylord, and it talks about some of the variations through the years, but I guess they were made from 1960 to 1970. My father-in-law used to take it with the cabin, and I'm sure this thing got pretty beat around, but it is a very, very, very well-built, stout, heavy. I don't know how much this thing weighs, but it's... Hey, it's raining again. There we go. It's heavy, all metal construction with the exception of these kind of fancy target grips, and I am very grateful that they are not cracked. They were pretty oxidized. I don't know. He had it sitting in a bunch of stuff with other gun oils, so I had to really clean this up. But I cleaned it up years ago and just kind of keep it nice. But yeah, the barrel's still real crisp, and he always shot Crossman 22 caliber lead pellets, so it's pretty much all that was available back in those days. But anyway, I thought I'd do a quick shooting test on it, and just kind of again another revisit of an old gun. Not a fancy one by any means, but I'll tell you, by today's standards, it is well built. It's very accurate, nice sights, good barrel. Just overall kind of fun gun, and I'm really grateful to have it. A lot of fancy guns I kind of have, but this is a real nice one. So let me put things down here, get started. It's raining again. Okay, well, as I was saying, it is now it's raining. It went from a pretty nice day to rain, then a nice day to rain, then a nice day to rain. So it's just going to be one of those deals. But I apologize for yelling, but I can, with it hitting, the rain hitting the roof and the side of the building, I can just barely hear myself. So we're going to still carry on with this. Hopefully you'll enjoy the visual more than my audio. But as I was saying, this is the Crosman 600, CO2 semi-automatic repeater. I don't know, again, like some of the other guns I've talked about, I don't know an awfully lot about it other than, just common tribal knowledge of the air guns that most of us have shot or messed around with. This takes CO2 that goes in the tube, goes through a valving system, and as you squeeze the trigger, you have pellets loaded into this integrated tubular magazine that feeds into this arm. That arm drops it into place, fire shoots it through, lifts up, accepts another one, drops it into place, so on and so forth. The hammer system would be right here. That's how you first cock it back. The sights, the target blade, tall, fully adjustable height and windage, and believe it, this is really very well built. You have a nice, really tall blade for precision shooting. Really nice. The finish on this gun looks like powder coat. It's probably like a heavy enamel of some sort, but I'll tell you, I mean, you can see where it's been knocked around through the years, and I have to blame that on my father-in-law, but you can imagine when I got this gun, it's been babied and handled with kid gloves. but he obviously enjoyed it quite a bit, so it shows. And but yeah, there's a lot of painted surfaces, but you know, they've held up quite well. That's about it. So there may be some other adjustments in here I'm not sure of, but I did take apart when I first got it, cleaned up inside the trigger mechanism, took apart as much of the mechanics up here as I felt comfortable with inside, cleaning up, splitting rust and gunk out of there. I know that it shot or shoots really well with the Crosman wad cutter pellets, and I do not know what weight they are. I've got a couple old boxes. One comes in the black tube and one came in like a little white case. And super pels or something I think they're called. But I have so few left and they're very oxidized, I just as soon not shoot those any longer. So I have shot RWS Hobby out of them with pretty good luck. I understand that these H&N Sports, being a wad cutter design, should work as well. But if they don't, I'm not gonna, blame the gun that much. It is kind of old. Well, range of stuff just like that. So I think we'll get into loading it now. As I was saying, the CO2 goes into there back first, and then you can see the piercing in the cap, and you push that lever. As soon as I push that in, I remember it kind of pops out, and then I gotta push it in. This time I have my Pel gun oil, so we don't have to be upset that I'm using synthetic motor oil or hydraulic oil or whatever else I told you I use in a pinch. This time we'll use some good old Crosman Pel gun oil. So as I was saying, we will put that into here like that. Point it in a safe direction. Now, like I say, so that's tight. And then all I've done in the past is, you just kind of hit your hand against it. I have double checked it's empty, so. Okay, it must have pierced, so. Now, with that being cocked, I believe this could be uncocked too by holding pressure on it and then they're letting it go. If I listen, it sounds really good. So yeah, now it's loaded, so let me just blow a couple shots through here and get that oil in there. Let's try it this time. There we go. Whoa, that's got some rapport to it. That's a piece of little gun. So now we put on safe, and it does not fire. So that works nice. And then it must, I'm going to assume, cock itself again. There we go. Okay, so that's working pretty nice. So I will put it on safe, and I will proceed to try and load it. Oh, okay, here, while I'm fiddling around with loading it, I'll tell you guys what I remember when I ran this across the chrono, whenever it was late last year, early this year. I was interested to see how this did after reading that article by Pyramid Aaron. I remember that these 11.9 hobby, RWS Hobbies, averaged out at 360, actually pretty much 360. The Crossman Premier 14.3s only dropped down to 350. And then I had some H&N, what was it, Field Target Trophy lead-free 9.56. And they punched out about 401 to 403 feet per second, which is pretty nice. So I think it was like anywhere from like 398 to 410 or something like that. And I think it came out to like 402 or 403. But these H&N Sports are 13.73. So I got a feeling they're probably in the 350 to 360 range along with these RWS Hobbies. As a matter of fact, I think I'd like to try those H&Ns first because I've never shot them in here, and I wonder how they work. Okay, so that's a brand new tin of pellets. So you slide back the, I guess you'd call it tubular magazine retention loading spring, and put them in just try to put them in like this here. 3, 4. I'll speed this up, or edit it out. Hopefully, okay, so to my understanding that spring and probe advancer has now pushed one into this arm. So when I pull the trigger, this arm must go down and allow the valving to blast the CO2 and send the pellet down the tube. So hopefully this will not jam up. It is an older gun. It's mostly the original parts. It's just a seal or spare in there. And that's about it. So I'll show you what I've got. I am going to stay here at 30 feet. So again, I don't know exactly how well those sights are sighted in. I think I'll try just shooting like right at here and pray that it not hit the camera. So we'll see what happens. The birds are singing, so you can see that it just kind of freshly rained. And then the sun comes out. So we've got these little monsoon things going on that are short and sweet. All right, let's give it a try here. Okay, wow, that ain't too bad. I wonder, I'll have to look and see when I started to do this. I'll be really honest without trying to make an excuse. Obviously this gun shoots as good or better than I can. Obviously better than I can. But I'm having the same trouble that I had with the Gammo P23 in that this indoor lighting is horrible. So even as good a sights this Crossman 600 has, and they do, for some reason the light in this barn is just, it just isn't helping me. I'm so used to either scopes or fiber optics. I can't say enough about the quality and how nice these sights are, but for some reason when I'm looking down there through them, it just looks like a straight bar to me. I don't know, the lighting just isn't good enough in here for these sights. So, I mean, I can make them out, but I don't know if it's my glasses or the lighting, but it was just really difficult to see for pinpoint shooting. And, outdoors I don't have any trouble at all, but in this barn, fiber optics or a red dot or even a scope works much better. So that is something I've just kind of learned here recently, that the blade and post or notch and post sighting system, if it's all black, I have difficulty in this building even with the light. So there you go. But as you could see, it still shot pretty darn nice, and so no complaints about that. These H&N Sport 13.73 22 cal, boy did they feed nice in this gun. Not one hang up, not one problem. Just, you know, the first 10 I've ever shot out of here just fed perfectly. Working a little better, right? Is that working a little better? Okay, so let's see if you guys can see what's happening here. I wish I had a monitor. That would sure be nice so I could see what you guys are seeing. See that. That's Now it's empty. Okay, safety on. So there you got, at least you got a view of what the, how the 600 works, the semi-auto action filling, the chamber. I'm really happy. It really likes these pellets a lot. Should try the RWS Hobby and see if they function any better. Try to reset up a different target and see how the hobbies work as far as accuracy. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have just loaded up the onboard magazine with 10 rounds of the RWS Hobby 11.9s. Safety on. So let's stay at the same 30 feet here and see how it, this one groups. I'll just be aiming for this is obviously not a very, I just slapped that on there, everything's all bowed and bubbled. It's not the best way, but this is just for fun to revisit the old Crossman 600. So let's see how that goes. Okay, well that's pretty good. I think, is it, do I have, oh I can see I have one left in there, but I could really feel the CO2 starting to die off and I was waiting at least, I edited out the time between shots, but I was waiting for at least 8 to 10 seconds between shots, so I think you probably could hear it too, but it looks like the CO2 started to die off, so the group really pretty much opened up. But yeah, those seem to function in here very well too, so I'm very, very happy. This gun is performing flawlessly. Just going to finish back up and finish off one quick shot in here. Okay. I think there might even be one more. I think I will. I have a bucket full of rags over here. I'm just going to shoot into that. Oh, I didn't even cock it. There we go. Okay, well, when she dies out, she dies out. That barely went into the rags, so I'm going to cock it one more time. Point in a safe direction. And it is empty. Wow. Okay, so I have to think back here. How many did we shoot? I shot, well, including dry fires, because I dry fired it twice. Then I shot 10 of these, and I shot another 10 of these, so that's 22. And I dry fired each time at the end, so that'd be 24. And then I got 8 of these, so 32, and then the last 2 shots were pretty much dead. So that means, I don't know if that's how this gun was when it was brand new, but apparently I'm getting probably 20 to 25 good shots, and then about 5 to 7, you know, dying off CO2 shots. In any case, this was a rewarding experience for me because, like I said, I've never actually even shot this that extensively in all the years I had it, meaning really trying to test it for shot count, accuracy. I just kind of threw a CO2 into it after I cleaned it up, lubed it, and just shot at a can, not really caring if I hit it or not. So, and then of course chronographing it, I guess it probably would be earlier this year. I'd have to look at the date. But yeah, so it seems that it's getting in the mid 3s with that lead freeze. It does about 400 feet per second, and it works. And here is a gun that is more than likely 50 years old or older. Wow, and it looks really great. A few nicks, still functions, it's accurate. It rivals modern CO2 powers, good sights, very, very comfortable. Unfortunately, it's not ambidextrous, but very much of a target grade match pistol by today's standards. I'm grateful to have it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a revisit of an old Crossman 600. And it's a nice gun, and yeah, I do feel fortunate. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and take care. Thank you.